not that difficult, but at the same time, it's challenging. Because I want to change your approach to doing research. That's why I said it's not that but it's difficult. Because we've been doing research. And I've gone around, this is a talk I've given in several universities, in UI, in fact, several, and I still have 2 other talks this month. We have been doing research in Nigeria. A number of publications, at least me, I have close to 600 publications. A number of patents, but where are the impacts? Which is the challenge you are having today in Nigeria? Research without impact. The problem still remains the way they were. So that's why I opted for this topic, turning ideas to impact. You have a research idea. How do you make it impactful? An innovative way of doing scientific research. I will start by defining, is the pointer working, please? Hello. Okay. Let me go back. I'm sorry, I don't know what's happening here. It's not. Oh, you are the one controlling it. If you want to go back. Up. No, I don't know. It's not responding. It's not responding. Is there somebody's helping me to operate it? It's not responding. It's not responding. It's not responding. Okay, this one is responding. Okay. Okay. Actually, I will start by some definitions. That one will guide us. And the first is to define science. We have done a lot of science in Nigeria. What is science? I said science encompasses the pursuit and application of knowledge and understanding of the natural and social world through systematic methodology based on evidence. And we have been doing that. We have done a number of science. And that's why we have a number of publications. We have done a number of studies, carrying out various studies. But what I've come to realize, and I believe that's why they established my University of Technology. And I will say technology is more difficult than science. And I will tell you why. Let's define technology. Technology has to do with cunning of handling. It has to do with skill now. Now you are producing goods and services. I will just refer to my citation. I have well over 500 publications. I only have 11 patents. You can see the gap. If I gave a talk recently, one from RBC just joined us from UK. He said, if I have my way, you people should go and pursue it. That with 1 or 2 patents, they should make people professor. Just to tell you how difficult it is to get patents. Because when it comes to the level of patent, that thing must have commercial value. You are producing goods and service. So it's more complex than I've discovered antimicrobial property of is it dogoyaro? How does that one get to the woman in the hospital? That is the act, the skill of doing it. Then idea, that is the state of mind, the thing you develop in your mind. So I just said I will start with definition. Then the next is innovation. Then entrepreneurship. Those are some definitions I want to look at. And those, because those are the things that will drive my talk. So that's why deliberately I started with those definitions, because I said my business here this morning is to change the way we are doing research. Now, we have been doing research in Nigeria. We have a number of professors. In fact, I don't think I know the number of professors in Nigeria, but I know we are well over 5,000. We are well over 5,000. But how many innovative products has come out from our university? We turn out PhD every day. How many innovative products can we see in the market that this is from my university? That's the challenge. So in Nigeria, all we do, only limited researches get to commercial state. I don't want to use none. That's why I use the word limited. And what we do in university is that, okay, what do I need to become professor? I need 20 papers. You work towards it. So in essence, most of the research we do in Nigerian university, they are not impactful. In fact, I've been in several oil and gas forums. I've been several. And they will tell you that they spend a lot of money on software, importing software. And I wonder, the way we have computer scientists in Nigeria, software engineer, why should they be? In fact, they spend a lot of money to import software. Recently, I was trying to repair my HPSC. I have problem with the software, and I was told that for me to buy a new software, I should bring $1,500 just to buy a software on my equipment. And we have a number of them. So, in essence, our research in Nigeria has not been impactful. That's why I target turning your ideas to impact. Now, challenges of scientific research in Nigeria. We have a lot of challenges, a lot. And I've shown them with videos. You see them protesting there. Either no power, no water, no this. The building is not good. Have you? The salary is low. Have you? There are a lot. In fact, we have a number of problems facing scientific research in Nigeria. You cannot contest that fact. But by the grace of God, I've been privileged to travel. I'm not saying the situation abroad is exactly like our own, but they also have their challenges. That's where I'm going to. They have their challenges. I've seen abroad where some lab will be active, some lab will not be active. And you will ask questions, they will say in that lab you don't have grant. So if you don't have grant, you cannot do research. You know, if people sit better here, you will say, departmental store, I want to request for chemical. If you don't have grant, you can't do research. There's nothing like general chemical for all. So, there are problems. Now, this is not that clear. It's still challenging. One of the major challenges is inappropriate method of data collection. In fact, somebody blasted Nigeria many years back. I think it's Uganda. I don't know what Nigeria said about the country. They said we will not join an issue with a country that cannot count themselves. And it's true. Nobody can tell us the population of Nigeria. Nobody can tell us. Sometimes they will say 180 million. Sometimes they will say 200. They will say so we cannot even count ourselves. Yes, we call ourselves giant of Africa. Then, another thing we have come to realize, the business development, the business acumen is a serious problem. Sometime last year I was in, I think, Bangkok, yes, because they had to bring somebody to come and talk to them on business development. We don't have business acumen, how to commercialize our product, and how to do need-driven research. Then the next thing, then most of our research are not intellectual property driven. In fact, poor technology transfer and poor communication. Just last week, Telephone came to monitor my projects. They came to my lab to monitor because I have some of their grants with me. They came to monitor the project. So as they were going, they just saw, because there are several posters around my lab about the product I've developed. So the man that led the team just saw one, though I know the man many years back. He was the DG of NOTAP. He said, this, you now snap it. I said, yes, this is one of our products, this blah, blah, blah. That's usually whenever I'm traveling abroad, I go with them, all those stuff. I said, but we don't know anything about it. We have not heard of it. He now come and said, come, we have to talk. And sincerely, that was the man that drove me to patent when he was DG. Then we went to Abuja looking for fund for our faculty. So when we now got there, as we were discussing in his office, he now showed me a product. He said, there is this product from the north, blah, 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 blah. And I said, in my PhD, I discovered a better product. He said, it's only known to you. It's not known to us. But that was the first patent I got. I now had to apply for patent, which is developing proteinous gari by playing around with fermentation. For that, what I did in my PhD. So he said, it's not known to us. It's only known to you. So there's a problem of communication. He now told me, Oboh, you just have to involve people in social science to market your product. Next slide, please. Now, what we are saying now, there should be strong collaboration between the university and the industry. There should be a strong collaboration. And our research should be driven by industrial need, not what we feel. The type of research we do in Nigeria, we create problems to solve the problem without addressing existing problem. That's the way we do our work. We create that problem and we solve it. And we leave the problem unsolved. We are not talking on research grant today, so I'll dwell less on that. Now, new ways of doing research. What's the new way of doing research? And how do we get on that new way of doing research? I gave 3 points there, which I want us to look. The first is that we should unleash the giant within us. Many of us, we have very brilliant ideas that have been suppressed. As a matter of fact, probably most of us in life sciences, biomedicals, and all those things, I think we have the greatest challenge in that area. Just because our brain has been over-westernized, we don't believe anything good can come from us. That's the issue. That's the issue. And you have brilliant idea. The idea is in you, but it is suppressed. Let me tell you, something shamed me. I will tell you why. How? When I was in Germany, in fact, that was the first thing I saw. Somebody will tell me the only bread you are used to in Nigeria is wheat bread. Have you? In Germany, you will see varieties of bread. Potato bread, this bread. When I now went to China, it is even worse. Various things, they make bread from various things. And like this bread in Akure, this home bake. If you are familiar with home bake in Akure, that guy was my student. Yeah, I trained him. I knew when he came for masters, he said, sir, I don't want to look for a job. Train me on what I can get into. I said, let us go into bread. Let's develop special bread for diabetic patients. That was his master's job. Developing special bread. And I think he produced that bread from, if I could recollect, is it from plantain? He produced bread from plantain. I knew the day of his exam, my friend from FSC said it's not possible. I said, no, I ate this bread. And today, when it comes to bakery in Akure, if you're familiar with Akure, home bake is one of the leading bread. One of the leading bread in town. Then, what am I trying to say? There's something inside you. You have to unleash it. Otherwise, you may not go far. Somebody will always make you feel that your idea is inferior. That your thing, but it's like during COVID, one of my friends, our daughter is a medical doctor, he said, he just called me from George, said my daughter has COVID. I said, will you listen to me? Should I give you what you can use? Will your daughter accept? Just why don't you just do this, do this, do this, do this? And lo and behold, no COVID again. Just that courage. There's something, nobody's empty. There's something inside you. Unleash that giant. That thing is coming inside you. Try to express it. Then the second thing I want to speak on is that nothing in this world is more dangerous than sincere ignorance and conscientious stupidity. That's what Martin Luther King said it. And that's the state of scientists in Nigeria. You know, there was a time we were in Abuja. We have this Horizon Euro meeting. Now we're just talking. That was with the medics. We were talking on clinical trial. I just told them right there, you people cause our problem. Somebody came from US, or US just came with a pattern, and you said we must use that pattern. I now ask a question. When they brought COVID vaccine to Nigeria, how many days did they test it? They brought it in, and they started inoculation the following day. Who verified it? Just because it's from abroad. Just because it's from abroad, it's okay. But the one you do is not okay. What Martin Luther King will call conscientious stupidity. And that is killing us. I knew during that COVID we were in Dubai. I had to challenge the years of TED from them that, sir, you can't tell me that the low rate of COVID-19 in Nigeria is due to the medical doctors. I said, what I know in Nigeria, most homes in Nigeria, they have one pot at home. They are boiling one leaf or the other. Because I did it in my own house. Even on our campus, I know we have a number of dongoyaro tree. Before you know, the tree was just going up, 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 up. Who is cutting the leaf? Let me tell you, when I was going to that Dubai, before I left Lagos, I bought something, ginger. I bought everything. I mean, why are we deceiving ourselves? Why don't you put money into such research? We know where the result lies. That's the truth. We know where the result lies. But so that's what Martin Luther King will call conscientious stupidity. You know this is the solution, and you are driving something else. So to go far in our research, we should get rid of rigidity. Many of us are rigid. I know in my university I've been fighting many of my colleagues in various departments. I say, which doctrine says that you must do this work this way? There's no doctrine anywhere. You know, my colleagues, no, this is Faculty of Science, I'm free to talk. They may not be here. My colleague from Food Science Tech, I don't know, student came to my life from Makurdi. They have to go back. They said, sir, we have spent this money on irrelevant. They said, if you are going to earn degree in Food Science Tech, you must do this either relevant or not relevant. That, all those rigidity, the principle somebody put in place about 50 years ago, you say we must use it now. Rigidity, sincere ignorance, and conscientious stupidity if we are to achieve the goal of starting and sustaining world-class research in our university system. That's why that thing is happening here now, which I love. When we talk of faculty, multidisciplinary faculty, and that's the way to go. This is the way of saying that biochemistry, straight jacket. No. Research has gone beyond that. Next slide. Now, need-driven research. That's the way to go. What are the needs? There are needs. Even when you are, in fact, you don't need to look for the need. They are everywhere. I tell people, if you want to do research, what are the needs? I gave a talk in the university, in fact, though that one was on grantmanship. Somebody just asked a question. I applied for telephone NRF. They didn't give me the grant, blah, 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 blah. And I said, okay. And I said, what was your proposal about? He said, yes, the proposal was on zebrafish. I said, very good, very good. I said, did you go to the guideline on NRF? He said he went through that. The guideline said the need of Nigeria. Zebrafish is a good research, but that is not our need now. Now. Yes, it's good to use zebrafish to study. Have you? But that is not the need. We have more serious needs in Nigeria. You cannot bring something on how to address insecurity. And somebody brought zebrafish. So, there are obvious challenges. One of them is the problem of food insecurity, either at the level of nutrient or availability. And it's a serious one. You know, sometimes I ask myself questions. I see Bulgari yesterday. They said it's 1,002 per Congo. Abi, what is responsible? Do you import cassava? I don't know. And they said Gari is 1,002 per Congo. You now wonder what is responsible for that. Any research that will make Gari to become 200 naira will be a good research. That's the truth. There's a problem of feeding. Let me tell you one truth. Initially, I wanted into food. That's the truth. My first training in biochemistry was in enzymology. Master's natural product. PhD, I went into food. Because let me tell you, there's still a problem of hunger in Nigeria. Serious problem. So, most research awarding, grant awarding body, they give, in fact, I've gotten more than 40 grants. Anything that address food. In fact, the year I won Umboard, all of us that they were given Umboard award in Africa, you must do a research that is related to food. Because Oyinbo come to realize that we have problem of hunger. Likewise in grantmanship. You know, I've been director of research and all those things. Each time, whenever we win grant in FUTA, I analyze the grant we won. I was even last year, most of the NRF FUTA won has to do with food. Most of them. When I analyze the one we won, they say, all those people, they are addressing one area of food because everybody have come to realize that there's problem of hunger. So the issue of food, what about the security challenge? I knew when I was director of FERAD, I told our Center for Space Research, I said, come, can't you write a proposal on how to track people that were kidnapped? That you should have to track them. And they wrote a proposal, and they won the grant. Because everybody, even your assessor, is security conscious. That's the truth. He doesn't know how he's going to get to his house. Have you? You know, everybody is security conscious. So any proposal that will address the issue of insecurity. I was trying to design one, though my colleague in forestry, they didn't cooperate. I gave an observation. Then I think last year when I went in EXU, I said, that you observe something. Most area where you have kidnapping, go and look at it. When you are going towards Benin, have you? When you are approaching for, it's area that you have high forest activity. A lot of bush. When you are coming from Ibadan, from Lagos to Ibadan, you know that before Shagamu, you rarely see kidnapping. But after Shagamu, where you have the forest, that's where the kidnapping is. That, why can't we see how we cannot convert those forests to something else to reduce kidnapping activity? That this is not an issue of military now. It's because people are not there, because there are no activity. Have you? If you not create activity around there, obviously there will be no hideout for kidnappers. So, any proposal that want to address insecurity, though I'm giving you my own idea now, but we can collaborate and put it together. So, anything that we want to address, then what about the issue of poverty, unemployment? How you can create, in fact, people who have won a number of grants on how you can make our grant to be more employable. Then how about the issue of natural disaster and all those ones. Those are needs. You don't need to convince any assessor why he should give you money. Because they are obvious problems. What about the issue of sickness and all those things? They are all there. Next slide now. How do you become a successful innovator and entrepreneur? Innovator. I spoke about design thinking. Design thinking. It's not just, there's the problem I have with many of our colleagues as a scientist is that we just copy ourselves. This is what this guy is doing. Let me do it. There's no innovation. People that will sit down and think, there's this problem. What can I put together to address this problem? So, you have to think that, okay, there's a problem. How can we do this thing with little fund? There's this thing, people are just dying of this sickness. What can we do? It's like the first grant I got in NRF. My first grant was, though I will show it when I start showing my product. My first grant was to address HIV. Just by farming. And what we observed, because that was the first study we did, to study Nigerian soil. It's called that Nigerian soil is very low in selenium. And any soil that is low in selenium, the food will be low in selenium. And once your food is low in selenium, it will affect your immune system. So there's a correlation between selenium spread and HIV spread. So what do we now try to do? We developed a fertilizer. We got our patent. We now came out with a biscuit. Yes, if I will give it to patients in state hospital, they ate it. And we got those two patents. So there we came, in fact, I knew the day I went to defend that proposal in Abuja. In fact, they didn't ask any question. All they told me that they were coming out that you can grow your vegetable or using that fertilizer, and by the time you eat that vegetable, it will boost your immunity. So, then prototyping. It's not just at the level of theory. Come out with tangibles. Let me tell you the truth now. For you to get PhD from me, you must get a product. From me, my student knows that I've gone beyond that to publish. I want to see what to produce. I was telling one recently that it's your special bread that you develop that will use to do your exam. That's the bread we are going to eat. If I knew there was one, when we were doing this exam, it was the tea we produced for diabetes and hypertension that was served. That is your product. So technically, to get PhD from me now, there must be tangibles, not just paper. Then, now, business acumen. I think that's one area we are missing. I think university now should do more with industrialists. Let them teach us. We know the paper, we know the science. They know the business. I think that is a major gap in our educational system. We are relating less with the businessmen. Let them come in. In fact, I think we should start designing courses meant for them to come and teach. It's not, this one is not PhD. Let me tell you how I got the idea. I told you I'm an Obodian. The last time I went to Germany, I went to University of Applied Science. University of Applied Sciences in Germany, they are Hochschule. They are like Polytechnic. They only award BSc and MSc. They don't award PhD. But when I got there, the last time I went to Germany, you can now see more of technology incubation. In fact, they will tell you this is the car we developed. So in one of those days, when I was in Germany, my head of department came from the industry. So it's not the one that went through lecture 2, lecture 3. No. It's a captain of industry that now came to academics. So you see the industrialists. In fact, the university I went to, your last year, your final year, you use it in the industry. So there's this strong industrial bond, learning business. Then, next slide. Now, I'll give you background. Let me now tell you something about my own activity. Abi? Yes, I have a lab, functional food and statistical lab, and the lab is going to almost 20 years now. And these are some of our products. This is the first one I'm going to show you, which is functional noodles. We already have patent for that. And this one is to address diabetic patients. They have problem of choice of breakfast. So we have to develop a special noodles for them. And those are the qualities. The thing is anti-diabetic. In fact, the mechanism, it inhibits alpha-glucidase. So this is the special noodles we have developed in our lab for diabetic patients. Already we have the patent. Then this is the ice cream, what we call the functional ice cream. It's a special ice cream for diabetic patients. And from our studies, because it's not just developing it, you have to assess it. You have to analyze it. And these are some of the features. Low reduced to it. It was uniclinic, it's hypocaloric, it's anti-diabetic, and it has antioxidant properties. In fact, some of the preliminary studies, the journal will publish its impact factor above 4. Then, these are breakfast series. We have developed special cornflakes for diabetic patients. This one, I can't but speak on this. In fact, the student that did that project for our PhD has gotten several awards. Several awards. And that PhD is to develop shortbread for malaria. Shortbread for malaria. And the lady lectures in the university, she has got, after the PhD, several awards. She has been getting several awards on that invention. Already we have the patent, so it's a special shortbread for malaria, prevention and treatment. The next slide. Yes, this was the one I spoke about. This, we had the patent already. Special fertilizer that is rich in selenium that just apply to your garden, and we have gotten several grants on this. Me and my students, several grants, several awards. So, and this is the one. This is the special cookies for HIV. So, we developed these special cookies for HIV patients. So, we have tested it on human beings and other stuff. Now, these are our polyherbal tea for diabetes and hypertension, because we realize that 70% of diabetic patients are hypertensive. So we have to develop a tea that can manage two of them together. So we have developed that special tea, what we call polyherbal tea. Then this is somebody has challenged me with this beer. Immediately I came, he said I was in Akure, there was this beer. Yeah, this is our alcohol-free beer. Alcohol-free beer, you know. And it's not only producing the beer is to manage diabetes. We took it to Abuja in December, everybody were rushing us, how would they get the beer, how would they get the beer? So in my laboratory, I have a mini brewery where I produce beer. I produce beer. So this is alcohol-free beer, and it's for diabetic patients. We also have the patent on this already. Let me go back to that beer. Probably there's something I want to say there. We have produced various variants. So we have produced for malaria. In fact, the fellow just got his master's and is continuing his PhD now. Alcohol-free beer for malaria. That is the one I take. I have it in my fridge. So I take it constantly to prevent malaria. So I have that one. Get to my fridge, you will see those beer there. So students produce it for me, I'll just keep it there. So to prevent malaria. And for that beer, we also observe, because our original interest in that beer is to produce a beer that will manage diabetes and hypertension. But the student drank it accidentally, they have malaria, they said they just swept it out. We now have to switch the research to start studying it on malaria. Then this one is an interesting one. That cream. You know what? This one is for diabetic foot ulcer. You know, for now, the major therapy for diabetic foot ulcer is amputation. They cut off that leg. They cut off that leg. So what we have done is to develop a lotion for, and we haven't developed another one. We are yet to patent it because somebody gave us another plant that will work better. So this one is for diabetic foot ulcer. Then this is the Ogiri cube, and we also developed Iru cube. This was the one this man saw from Abuja. So normally when I'm traveling, I travel with this one, the cube. We produce that one in my lab. Each other one. This one is for menstrual cramp for women. Yes, this was already in market. You know, when the thing came out, food really made the noise. Ginger and turmeric bread. I'm the inventor, so I produce ginger and turmeric bread. And as a matter of fact, we have even improved on the bread. We have improved on it now. Now, these are some other products we produce. But this one, I have vested interest in this last one. I will tell you why. My daughter made me to develop that one. You know, there's this skin problem babies used to have. So, my daughter had that thing. So, there's this flour we used to look for. We just boil, we used to bath them, and the thing works like magic. So, what I did was to make it into a lotion. You don't have to be looking for the flour. Just use the lotion to write, and the skin problem will go. So, that's one, that one. Let me now conclude. I think I'll spend more than 40 minutes. And I like reading out my conclusion that as more and more research we carry out in our respective laboratories, let's bear in mind that it is incomplete until that information can be translated to a product that will make life better for everyone. That has been the cruise of our work in functional foods and nutraceuticals. Thank you.
It has been a very interesting and mind-blowing lecture this morning. Do you agree with me? Let's put our hands together. Thank you so much, sir. I will say again that this is a major contribution to the whole essence of this conference. And right about now, the microphone will be open for questions, for contributions, and of course, I know we'll have many questions. Please, if you have questions, come out. Let's start. The professor is ready to, yes, straight to the point. Straight to the point. 1 minute. Your question? Please come if you have questions.
Thank you, sir, for the very impactful and inspiring lecture. My name is Dr. Omola from Biochemistry. I'm really inspired by this presentation. Thank you so much, sir. These products are, in fact, you have gone very, very far, and I'm really inspired. My question is, despite that we have all these products and it's treating all the major ailments that we have around, how affordable are these products? For instance, the shortbread, how much is it, you know? Because if these are not affordable to common man, that's my question, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. Please come up.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Standing on existing protocol, I want to ask the Prof the question. Wonderful presentation. Sir, what's the place of clinical trials in patency and development of products?
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Prof. My name is Dr. J. Lawal. One, I want to commend your efforts. You made mention of things that has been a bane of development on the area of relationship between the industrialist, captain of industries, and the academia. I'm an industrial chemist, and that has always been the problem, where the encouraging professors and academia to carry out sabbaticals, rather than going to other university, go to industry. Spend your 1 year there. Though I know that because that relationship does not exist, it's only policy that can bring that to pass. So, and since you are closer to agencies, if there is a way you can push for that policy so that it could be, because if the policy is not there, the industry will not welcome it. The academics might not look at it as part of development. And that's where the gap is. There is so much gap between the industry and the academics. So I don't know the way. And secondly, sir, you talked about developing a fertilizer, selenium-based fertilizer. And I've worked on heavy metals, and when you mention any of these, I look at their impact in the environment. It was carried out to see if the accumulation, because when you have selenium and some of these things in soils, they can lead to other, we call selenosis. They can lead to brittle of fingers and breath issues for when there's high accumulation of selenium. So I don't know in your research if that has also been taken care of. Then thirdly, sir, I appreciate your effort. That's always the step to industrialization as an industrial chemist. You do research, then you go to pilot study where you could have the product. Then the next thing is the real commercialization. And most of the time, that's where investors come in. We bring in investors. We might not have the capacity to bring in machines that can churn out thousands of tons of products that everywhere you go to is there. So I want to know if there's, you have tried, you got into that stage, if there is an effort to get to that last stage, which is where there is heavy investment for commercialization that can even take care of the whole of West Africa. Thank you very much, Prof.
Thank you so much. A round of applause.
Thank you, sir. I'm Omolola Aibologa from Mass Comm Department. Sir, nearly all your products cure the deadly disease in Nigeria. Sir, left with another deadly disease, if there's a way you can help us too, which is prostate cancer. It's a deadly disease too. And I don't know if you can help us to work on that. Then lastly, I would love to help to market the beer aspect of it in our here. Is that possible? Thank you, sir.
Prof, you have to bring your product any other time when you are coming to this kind of place. You know, the first time I heard about that beer without alcohol was the time that you taught us on grammar-ship, and I was impressed that is it possible to have beer without alcohol? That's a great one. So my question is this. Is it possible for some of our CWES students to also get some experience from your lab? If it is possible, how can we go about it? This is College of Natural and Applied Science. And I think if we are able to get that, I think it's going to be a plus for all our students. That's the first thing. Then the second question is, all this while you have been telling us about your research, are you saying there is no place of computational science there where computer can come in? Have you realized some aspect of your research that you are thinking is so difficult that you are thinking maybe computer science can come in? If there is it possible we also know this so that we begin to also look at that area as a new research area? Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir. I'm a biochemist, and I want to say that I have been following you even before you come for this lecture. So I flow very well with your area of research. I don't have any issue. But the only one I have is that there are a lot of research that we are doing in private institutions. In fact, I want to tell you that in this college, there are a lot of groundbreaking research that we are doing, but we are limited. There's no TED fund part of. Why is it that TED fund has not surpassed funding public university when all our products in private university are also affecting positively the society? What can we do about this? I can tell you 3 different research that we have concluded in the Department of Biochemistry in this College of Natural and Applied Science. They are groundbreaking if we can have support. And number 2 is that we would like to have the college to have a collaboration with your laboratory, in the sense that one of the colleagues has said, by having our students coming to your lab and then, interdisciplinary research between your laboratory and our college. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you so much. I want to invite Professor Oboh for his response.
My problem is that no student asked any question. I was expecting questions from students. Anyway, since they choose not to ask. Yeah, then all those questions are interesting, and I think the first question is on affordability. Nothing good comes easy. Nothing good comes easy. I know, like, the ginger and turmeric bread is far above the usual price. Even it was even so bad then that before, as they are producing, then I learned they would have come from FFC here, that the bread will not get to market, they would have packed everything. And I knew the guy that was producing for us in Akure then, you can only see it in pharmaceutical shop. It's not even in open whatever. And it's not that expensive. At the time, it's not that cheap. Because those are research-driven products. Just last week, somebody came that his auntie has HIV. I should give her. I just tell your auntie to take this, and go and get back to me. But nothing good comes that cheap. Even now, I will give you a typical one. Bitter cola. Then, if somebody give it to you, you will throw it at him. I know they sell it in Futagate now, just about 5 of them, 1,000 naira. Bitter cola. Why? People have come to realize the importance of bitter cola. So, I will say, yes, mine is affordable. But affordability is relative. Then, somebody raised the issue of clinical trials. I digressed a little to that one when I was giving my talk. There was a time I gave a talk in Unimed. It was one of the major battles we had that day, the issue of clinical trial. Lucky enough, we have many medics there. And later, we also went to Abuja. The team I belong to, this Horizon Euro, many medics. And that's why I raised that poster. That's come. And let me now say it without mentioning words. There is no lab in Nigeria that can do complete clinical trial. So if you are waiting for the day we have complete clinical trial, no product will come out in Nigeria. Quote me. No lab in Nigeria can do complete clinical trial. Though on a different talk, I normally give the various stages. Are you okay? That's why I challenge the clinicians, the medics, the biomedical scientists. Design a clinical trial that will work for your system. That's the area I have issue with. That somebody cannot just send something to us from US, from whatever. And let me now tell you, as important as clinical trial is, during COVID-19, they didn't exhaust it. Within a month, they cleared them. They didn't even go to the true stretch of clinical trial because WHO allows it, it becomes a practice. So, then at a lighter mood, dietary supplement, food supplement, they don't require that level of clinical trial. It's what you have been eating before. So don't be carried away that this is my food. Then you have to get clinical trial before you eat your gure. I will just give you this one at a lighter mode. This my friend, Professor Zebige. I brought him to Futa to come and give talk then. You know, he has this capsule for prostate, for diabetes. He came to give talk in Futa, and he developed those capsules from bitter leaf. Somebody now asked that toxicological studies, this. You know the reply the professor gave? It's my friend. He said, when your wife gives you bitter leaf soup, do you ask for the safety of the bitter leaf soup before you eat it? That was the answer I gave. This thing I produced from bitter leaf. Anyway, no, that does not disturb patents. Registration does not require, they don't ask for clinical trial. At least I've had 11 patents, and I have 2 under evaluation presently. But when it comes to dietary supplement, food additives, they are not as serious as, and that is the difference between functional food and medicinal plants. People mix them together. They are 2 different things, and they have different approach to their research. Yes, industrialist academia, the issue of policy. Okay. The issue of policy, that may be difficult, but it is possible. I will give you a case. That thing happened in India. When a prime minister came up and insisted that all the industries in India must use local raw material, Coca-Cola said no. That they import their concentrate. If you're even working there, you don't know what you are mixing. Up till now, they didn't tell anybody this is what they are mixing. And they ordered Coca-Cola to leave India. They were ordered that if you will not obey, leave India. If India is the first country to produce soft drink with protein, they have to challenge the scientists. Give us something better than Coca-Cola. You see, it amazes me with all the things we have here. Industry will say they are importing starch, importing this. It's sincerely embarrassing. They even import toothpick. Is that bad? That's where, though the president just gave something that they cannot import now. And when I was in Germany, you will be in the lab, the industry will be waiting for your results. There is this strong thing. That is one aspect. Then the other aspects are, because I attended several fora, especially in oil and gas, when I was director of research on this industrial academic partnership. One thing comes out loud, they don't trust us. They don't trust academia. I told you, not just I attend, I'm a resource person. They don't hide it, that we don't trust you. And they will give you cases. We gave you grant to do this, no result. We gave you grant to do this, no result. So they don't trust us. That is one major problem we have with the industrialists. They prefer to wait for a result from US than to give it to do in FUTA, because of their past experience. So we academics, we have to redeem our own image. We have terrible, no. I've attended several fora, several. And that has been the constant thing. If I know you want the one we did in Unogwa, I have to tell you that just give us a trial again. Abi, let us see if we will fail. But that's a major problem of trust. Then the issue of selenium, that's a very good question. But that's why before we came out with our fertilizer, we had to know the level of selenium in Nigerian soil. And that result is damning. It was a funded project. We came to Oboh to collect soil and water. We moved around the whole country. That before we now say, add more selenium to the soil, what do you even have there? Very horrible. In fact, that explains the prevalence for HIV. In fact, one of the articles we even read discovered that those pregnant women attending antenatal in Lagos discovered that those one with HIV, they have low selenium in their blood. So then they discovered that the selenium in the soil is very low. Not only for HIV, wherever you have low selenium, you are prone to viral infection. So that is what they have. Even in fact, I knew after I defended it in Abuja, I knew then they said they have to involve the Ministry of Agriculture. It's called that you will go to Europe, you go to London, you go to UK, you go to Italy, you will see okra. You will be shocked that that okra is not from Nigeria. It was then we discovered that European countries import food from countries that are rich, that has high selenium in their soil to correct their own selenium deficiency. When we see, we'll talk more on that. I told you we have gotten several grants on selenium biofortification. Several. If you get to my lab, you'll see the way we are growing vegetables, trying this. In fact, we have not even moved out of vegetable now. We believe that siri can stay for long. Let us use it to grow siri. See that one can stay for long on a vegetable. Prostate cancer, that's a very good question. In fact, I have a PhD student working on prostate cancer now. So his work is to develop beer that will prevent prostate cancer. In fact, I have a PhD student working on that now. So we are in tune with recent things. As they are coming up, we come together, we brainstorm, develop a work, and see. So I have a PhD student. His work is it's not just to go and screen plant, develop a beer. You know, men likes beer. So alcohol-free beer that can manage prostate. So already we are on that. The question on CWES. As of today, as of this morning, I have more than 50 students in my lab from various universities. I don't even know. People from Ashiba may have come one time or the other because people come from all the universities. As of this morning, because I have 2 labs. So I have more than 50 students. So, and we don't discriminate. Once you come with your letter, you just say, okay. So, then the issue of computational science and all those stuff, though there's this area of molecular docking which people have been doing, but the problem we have with that, because I've been involved in such things abroad, even in my lab, I have issues with the one they do in Nigeria, I must tell the truth. That most of the docking they say they do in Nigeria, that you just go online, go and copy somebody's data that you are not sure of the data, and you are using it to dock. That is like, I did a work years back in Italy. In fact, after that work, that's why I was made member of New York Academy of Science. I didn't apply for it. Maybe we published that work in biochemical pharmacology. You will be made to repeat an experiment several times. You should be double sure of your data before you go and dock. But here, people just go online. In fact, I don't want to go to those details. Many horrible data online. And data you are not even sure of, you go and get it, use it to dock. Mind you, we are dealing with life science. The one I'm used to, you do it, you repeat it, you are cocksure of that data. Then you cannot say, let us go and dock. So that is the, so I have my personal bias. It may not be global, but personal. With the way we do it here in Nigeria. I knew there was a time, 2003, I was in Italy. My own work is to generate data. I was working, repeat. From there, after I did the experiment in Italy, we moved to Slovenia, Institute of Mathematical Chemistry. So, after we have generated those data, they are the ones that now help us to dock it. But the data we took to them is the data we are double sure. It's not that any data. But what they do in Nigeria is that they just go online, download the data, correct or not correct, they say they are docking. So that is the area I have problem. Then, somebody wants to drag me to politics. Third fund. That debate has been outside. It has been outside, third fund public, third fund private. What third fund, and this question normally come up whenever I go out to give talk in private universities. The midway third fund created is that you can collaborate with federal states. And what I normally tell people is that at the point of writing the proposal, define your terms. That, okay, we are buying 4 equipment. 2 will go to you, 2 will come to me. It's not after winning, you would have defined that from the beginning. If we are winning 50 million, if you will take 30 million, we will take 20 million. All those things would have been defined. Third fund, I've won grants, at least with people in Jabu. I've won third fund with them. So, and in fact, I think we have won about 2-3 grants together. So, third fund allows you to collaborate, but the only problem, somebody from private university cannot be the lead researcher. That is just the thing. So, that's one. But this issue of allowing private, allowing public, it has been on. But that is the midway third fund created. On the issue of collaboration, we are always open for collaboration. And we have been doing collaboration, several collaborations. So we don't have difficulty with that. We are always open. Thank you.
Once again, a round of applause for Professor Oboh for the responses he has given to the questions raised. Right about now, I have the privilege to welcome the Vice-Chancellor to the microphone for our remarks.
I think we should thank our guest speaker for another motivation. Sir, I hope this your preaching will help me. Since I came here, I've been challenging academics that if we don't begin to think out of the box, we will remain poor for life. Haven't I? No, answer me. Haven't I? I've always challenged every department that you must be able, there's no department that cannot produce. If you cannot produce something tangible, you can produce something that will affect life,
in ways that everybody will know that something had changed. We've been talking about multidisciplinary studies. We got ourselves together. We constituted multidisciplinary groups. They came up with ideas. If you are waiting for when you will get TED fund, before you begin to produce little things, you are not likely to get out of where you are. Many people will start from something small that they produce from their laboratory, and they begin to test around. You start from there. And you know, I also tell people that science, for as long as we keep thinking that we must be doing science the way the West talk about science, we will forever remain the way we are. When you live with people, when you live with traditional people, you will learn so much from them. And even if we begin to even test the things that we have, the things people are using, even from monitoring what they are doing and using what we're learning to influence what we're doing, we will be solving more of our problems than just thinking that I just want to become a professor. After becoming a professor, what next? And we also tell people that becoming a professor is perhaps the most challenging aspect of being an academic. Because if you become a professor and we still cannot see products that are adding value to people, what's it? So I think this is another great challenge for us. And it's not about the university where you are. But you must be willing. It is from willingness that other things will come. If we get grants, if we collaborate, if we do whatever, if we also don't get out of our attitude of complacency, many of us academics are complacent. So, but I am happy that this conference, from the first speaker to all the other speakers, are giving us enough motivation, enough challenge. Sir, we just put a COS unit together, and we asked them that this idea of just asking students to go and choose where they want to go will not go well with us. You must determine what you want learners to learn and look for where they can get such things to learn. And we're working on that. So thank you for also agreeing to take in some of our students. I want to add to the dimension of sabbatical in industries. I know that many of my colleagues have done their sabbatical, not in universities. It's also about what is your work? What are you doing? What do people know? If you are working in an area that industry think you are going to be useful to them, in fact, they will pay you very high money. And the university that gives sabbatical only asks you, where do you want to do your sabbatical? And what are you going to be contributing? So I don't think you need any special policy for you to be able to go and do sabbatical in an industry. You must be looking at what work are you doing, which industry will it benefit, and you must initiate a relationship with them even before you are due for sabbatical. So you must have been working for them, perhaps on a consultancy basis, perhaps on a free basis. Many of us always think money first. Money will always come. Sir, or what do you think? Money will come. But you must be willing also to give first before money will begin to follow us. I want to challenge AUCONAS that after this conference, what next? Are we going to wake up? Are we going to have our multidisciplinary teams that already have what they're supposed to be working on? Are we going to wake up? Are we going to get back to now saying, how do we move from now? And we will get to a stage of, before you become a professor, where is your product? Beyond, I have supervised 20 PhD, and the 20 PhD that even can write good paper. So I'm challenging all of us. I'm challenging AUCONAS in particular. And I think our students that are here will also see that, unlike the way young people are thinking nowadays, you think academic is dead end. It is who you are and what you make of academics that will determine what you can do with being in academics. Academics do not have to be a dead end. Academics is actually to be an open end to making the future and making the world a better place. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Ma. We appreciate your contribution. Permit me, Vice-Chancellor Ma, to bring to the microphone Dr. Mikoton for the vote of thanks.
Let me start my vote of thanks by thanking our Vice-Chancellor so much for what she has always been. That is somebody that is forthcoming. She wants improvement in everything, and we know that it's a person that has actually moved the university in the past 2 years. Thank you so much, ma. We also appreciate your concluding remark, and we are making a promise that we are going to have our own local colloquium in corners, and we will come to you because we will know you will attend to us for what you stand for. We have been gossiping there as we are listening to Professor Oboh. We were talking to ourselves that the talk is quite practical, very practical. Even though I did my PhD in food, I was not aware of those products. But I know that your name rings bell. I think you were even the internal examiner for my PhD when I was defending. So although I couldn't recognize you, but now I thank God that we meet again. So sir, we thank you very much. And as my colleague have said, during our gossiping there, we will need to visit your lab to have more, and most especially our students in biochemistry and plant science will visit your lab for industrial training. Thank you so much. And we thank our dean. He has always been supportive. He's our father. And all that we are discussing now will be on his table and will help us to reach the Vice-Chancellor. We also thank Prof and all members of the management for how much you have cooperated with us in these past 3 days. Thank you, Dr. Samuel, chairman of the local organizing committee. We thank all of you too, the ICT people and other members of the local organizing committee. Our dear student, you are so great. We appreciate you so immensely because of your decorum. And of course, I know you learn new things today, not so? Yes, so everybody in corners, in nursing and other departments who have come, we thank you so much. And we know that by our collaboration, department by department, college by college, Achiever University will reach greater heights. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, sir. The next on the agenda is announcement, and I'll be announcing that after this program, to this side, our participants will go for their tea break, and of course, for the session that will follow after, the practical session that will follow after. That is the announcement we have for today. The Vice-Chancellor, ma, we have come to the end of this event, and I will request that we rise as we take the Achievers University anthem and followed by the national anthem, then followed by the photograph. Thank you very much. We take a group photograph of management members and our guest lecturer down here. All members of the local organizing committee, please come forward. Local organizing committee can join now. Staff, members of the academic staff of AUCONAS, please join.